Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Societal Narcissism. This video is sponsored by contribution from Marianne. Marianne asked for a general video on the feminism epidemic, and boy, do I have the perfect video topic for this. Those of you who saw my video on the feminist gets what they vote for. This is another example of it. This woman was, I think she still is, the head lacrosse coach at Oberlin College. Oberlin College might be, other than maybe UC Berkeley in California, the most liberal institution in the country. It's in Ohio. This university was just sued, or not even sued, they lost. They were ordered to pay a bakery in Ohio $60 million for defamation because the bakery caught a couple shoplifters who happened to be black, and the university went, called them racist, sent down student groups to protest, called them Nazis, called them every friggin' name in the book. Okay, meanwhile, these people were legitimately stealing. It's flat out defamation of character. They were ordered to pay $60 million. So let's see what happened with the lacrosse coach, shall we?
Last March 20th, I was blown that a male was being allowed to compete with women in NCAA swimming. And when Leah Thomas won, I reposted a post that said, "Congratulations to Emma Weyant." One of my own players took that post and sent it in an email to my athletic director.
So, as much as I disagree with biological males competing against females, this woman who has worked at this liberal university, knowing what it is for years, thought she can go out and say something against Leah Thomas, the swimmer from Penn, the biological male swimmer. She thought she had the entitlement to go out and say that. And she didn't expect her own players, okay, who go to this university, who are being indoctrinated in this bullying ideology. She thought she was going to be immune from it. Again, as much as I agree with the sentiment of what she's saying, I have zero fucking remorse because the woman is still working there. See, she wants to have her cake and eat it too. She wants to work for this liberal university that is tearing down every fabric of American culture, of Western culture, except the one area that she disagrees in. Why? Because it affects her directly because she's a women's lacrosse coach.
She's a player I was really close to. And
doesn't matter.
I was shocked.
After Oberlin College head women's lacrosse coach shared a post on her personal Instagram account opposing Leah Thomas competing in women's sports, school administrators called her into a series of disciplinary meetings. This is a university that disparaged a bakery, a family-owned bakery that had been in operation for 100 years, called them fucking Nazis and racists and everything else they could think of, knowing that their students were guilty of shoplifting, actually guilty of strong-arm robbery because they put on a fight at the door. And you thought you were going to be able to say something against Leah Thomas and get away with it? As your student athletes and these girls, okay, and these girls are sitting through these classes, going through this indoctrination, you thought you were different. You thought you were special. You are not.
unfortunately you fall into a category of people that are kind of filled with hate in the world.
It's acceptable to have your own opinions, but when they go against, open the college's beliefs, it's a problem, right, for your employment.
Right, their beliefs that they're willing to pay $60 million. They're willing to lose $60 million. That shows you how much money they have in their endowment, by the way. Just so they can further progress their own ideology.
On Monday, March 21st, I was called in for a meeting to the athletic director's office with the athletic director and the assistant AD saying, "What were you thinking? Why would you do that?" I immediately felt like a little kid being yelled at and,
Right, because that's how they treat everybody, like a child. You are all children, subservient to them, their will, their beliefs. And they are empowering these students, to turn around and bully the adults, to bully the older generation, to bully those who hold some shred of old style Western culture. Has to be eliminated, has to be destroyed.
Told I was wrong, and people saying a trans woman is a woman, and how can you not think that? At the end of the week, I was called in again by the athletic director and asked to have another meeting. She said, "You need to write a letter of apology to the team, and you need to write a letter of apology to the department."
It's always about the struggle session. It's always about you admitting what you did wrong so then it could be used as a hammer against you. Societal narcissism, same as the narcissist in your own life. She thought she was special. She thought she was different. She thought she had some sort of status in this liberal Mecca university. Guess not. Not if you step out of line in the slightest way.
I hope you feel remorse for it.
I started to write one and then thought, no, I'm not writing a letter of apology. I'm not sorry. I will have a conversation with anyone who wants to have a conversation about this. I am passionate about this.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. The more you fight, the more it emboldens them. You can't win. You can't win here.
I really believe that when
this is a university that just gave us lost $60 million for defamation. You think they won't do it again? And it ain't nothing. It's a drop in a bucket to their endowment.
women should be competing against other biological females. She also told me that I was being called transgressive, transphobic, and unsafe. And that just broke my heart, because you love these kids like they're your own. And when they hurt, you hurt too.
You think these kids are hurt? They're not hurt. They're not hurt. They're a bunch of sociopaths now, looking to enact their will on anybody who steps on a line. And they don't care. You think you formed a bond with these girls? Oh, silly woman. Oh, silly, silly feminist.
I was told that there was going to be now a meeting with my entire team, with the athletic director, with the Title IX director for our department, with the DEI person for our department, and with the Title IX and director of diversity inclusion for the entire college. In my memory, the room was dark. It was very dark energy. And I had prepared myself emotionally.
I don't know what she possibly could have expected out of this. Honestly, like her surprise is just, it's mind-boggling. This is Oberlin College you're talking about here. Like, what did you expect? You thought you were special. You're not special, sweetie. Sorry, you're not. As much as I agree with your point and your sentiment. Sorry, you get what you vote for. You get what you promote. You are a part of this university, a large part of this university. You voted for this. Sorry, you voted for this.
Because I knew what was coming. Chairs were set up in a huge circle. I felt like I was burned at the stake. I felt like I was stoned and hanged all at the same time. It was what I would call the mob mentality, where a few people on the team spoke about how much they were upset with what I posted.
It's a Maoist struggle session. That's where we're at. We're at the struggle session portion of it. You're not different. You're not special. Okay? The struggle sessions were primarily against ex-politicians of the old Chinese way, parents, administrators. Okay, the older, out with the old, in with the new. That was the communist way. That was the Maoist way. That was the Chinese model that Western culture is now trying to emulate. And this woman thought she was special. You thought your team was different? And obviously, since your own team is the one who turned you in, okay, that should just tell you you have no concept of who these girls were.
Posted, and how dare I post that?
You know, everyone has their opinions, everyone has their beliefs, everyone has their views. That's not. But what the focus should be here isn't what the view is. It should be the impact that caused, and the impact that post had.
The impact of it.
That meeting
Of an Instagram post. Like, this is where we're at. This is what hurts people and causes damage. An Instagram post. We're supposed to take this seriously. They do. That's the world she's living in. Shouldn't have surprised her one bit. She thought she was special.
turned into anybody being able to say anything they didn't like about my coaching style or my assistant's coaching, anything.
But I still feel like they're just kind of like justifying your actions a little instead of like a true apology. Because I think being a coach, especially at Oberlin, where there's such a high like LGBTQ plus population, I just feel like I would like a little more accountability.
And this is a major tenet in the destruction of Western society. The children are lecturing the parents. The children are lecturing the adults. The children somehow have a better moral compass than the adults. The children who've done nothing, who know nothing, who are basically been given participation trophies their entire fucking lives.
I love these kids, and to have, many of them say all these things that to me were attacking who I was as a person, and was just, it made me sad.
It's not good enough just to work for like women's issues or white feminism, it has to, your feminism has to be inclusive for everybody and work for everybody.
White feminism. And what's the voice saying that to her? Another white chick. Another white girl. You get what you deserve. You really do. There is an answer to this, by the way. There is an answer to this, and I'll give it to you at the end.
And I knew by the end of that meeting that it didn't matter what I said. There was cognitive dissonance. Nobody would hear me. I felt like it broke our family apart, meaning our team. It was the most difficult season I've ever coached by far.
And she continued to coach these girls. Now I understand maybe you don't want to just let them in and make them fire you, I think. I understand that. But, okay, you know what? I won't wait till the end. You know what the answer is to this? Because obviously there are no transgenders on the team. Basically, there's no biological men on this lacrosse team for her to have said that. And now these girls who have now turned on her because of what she said against Leah Thomas, a biological male competing against women, you want to make your point? You want to educate these girls? Put a couple transgender men on, a couple biological males on the team. Have the biological, go out and recruit them. Since since transgender women or biological men who identify as women are women, then in order to have the best team possible, you should be out now recruiting biological men who now identify as women, and have those biological men take the spots of these girls who are complaining. Let's see if they believe in equality then. I doubt it. These are all girls who haven't had to reap the consequences of their own voting, of their own beliefs, of their own belief system. Force them to. No. She's trying to convince them that she's right. You want to convince them that you're right? Put a couple biological men on the team. And then let's hear these girls say, oh, you're a transphobe. Oh, it's a real woman. Go ahead. Let them lose their starting jobs to these biological men. That's the only way you're going to win. You got to beat them at their own game. You're not going to win by crying victim, by saying, oh, they're burning me at the stake. Bullshit. You got to give them exactly what they're asking for. Load that team up with biological men who now identify as women. I guarantee you're in Oberlin College, you can find them easily.
We finished the season. I got called in for another meeting with the AD, and I was handed a letter. I was not emailed the letter. I was only given a hard copy. The letter was copied also to the assistant AD, to the director of human resources, and to legal counsel for Oberlin. The letter would be put in my personnel file, and that I needed to change my behavior immediately. I sent them my response. If I am breaking university policy, please tell me what that is.
See, now again, this is a university that just lost $60 million, which is probably why they didn't fire her outright, which is why they're trying to struggle session her into quitting, which she shouldn't do. You have to play the game as it's being played. You have to force these people to live by their own rules.
Please do that in writing. And if you're going to fire me for breaking university policy, please do it now. Every day I went into the office, I felt like I was walking on eggshells. I didn't know what was going to happen. So when I started, I thought it would be the perfect place for me. Every time I've spoken up, I've been silenced.
So when she first started, she thought it was the perfect place for her, which means she has the same ideology that the school does. Did she speak up when they defamed that family-owned bakery, calling them Nazis and everything else? No. See, it isn't until there's something that she has a problem with. Now I'm a victim. Sorry, honey, you voted for it. You supported it. You can't pick and choose here. That's not how it works.
Which, to me, is the opposite what I thought Oberlin would be. I believe that there are so many people who are afraid of losing their jobs that they are just going to do what they have to do to keep working. But instead...
Of course they are. But to be able to work at Oberlin College in the first place, you think there's conservatives working at Oberlin College? No. You wouldn't have worked there if there was. If it was littered with ideologies you don't like. You just don't like this one because it affects your coaching. Now you learned. Now you know. You are not going to logic your way out of this. The only way out of this is to force these girls to play by the same set of rules that they are preaching. Make them practice what they preach. It's real easy for that girl to sit there and to talk about all the harm and damage and acceptance. Well, there are no biological males on this team. No biological male has taken anything from these girls. That needs to change. That needs to change.
Instead of difficult conversations, the students will go to a higher up and not talk to a coach, a professor, whoever, and that coach is canceled, fired, that professor is fired because the kids' parents are paying the money, and that's what matters. When it becomes a toxic environment, and when I'm 56 years old and I feel like I'm walking on eggshells and afraid to be me.
This was a toxic environment before any of this happened. You didn't have a problem with it. You didn't have a problem with any of it until it was something that mattered to you personally. Sorry, you don't get any, you get no sympathy. Sorry, you get what you get.
Where I work, that's not good. It is scientific that biologically males and females are different, period. I don't believe biological males should be in women's locker rooms. Where's the Me Too movement now? What happened to that?
We already know. We've talked about the Me Too movement ad nauseum. The Me Too movement was always bullshit. Was always bullshit. It was co-opted by a bunch of liberal white women. Okay, Me Too was originally started by urban black women to bring about the abuse of urban black women in their cities. Who was perpetrating abuse on urban black women in their cities? It wasn't white men. It wasn't white men doing that. It wasn't white men they were talking about until Alyssa Milano and her ilk got involved and took over the whole Me Too thing, and that was gone. And then all of a sudden it applied to liberal white women like this. Sorry. You didn't understand what the Me Too movement was. The Me Too movement was fine when it was going after Western culture and white men. It was always a farce.
Do I believe I'm at risk of being fired, of having a storm hit me? Yes. Am I ready for the storm? Yes. I have had the opportunity, because of the women who came before me, to play at the highest level. There have already been athletes who've had awards taken away from them, opportunities taken away from them.
Riley Gaines, I feel bad for. She had no choice in the matter. Those girls had no choice in the matter. That was made. Those decisions were made by the NCAA and their and powers that be above them. This is different. This is the actual student athletes in an uber liberal university doing this.
Them opportunities to compete at a certain level because someone else got it who's a biological male. It is my job to be a voice for everyone who is too afraid, who needs to keep their job, who thinks they have to stay in line and toe whatever line that is, who is stuck in the mob and too afraid to rock the boat. Because if I don't speak out, who is going to speak?
Where were you before any of this happened? There's plenty of people speaking out. I don't know why you thought you were special. Unless you're going to make these people practice what they preach, you're never going to get anywhere. You think you're going to sit in one of their struggle sections and make them understand? No. The only way they understand is by experiencing the consequences of their own ideology, which she hasn't figured out yet. Because to do that, you're going to do real damage to the university, which she doesn't want to do, because she wants to still keep her little liberal white woman utopia going. And she don't want to give that up. Well, sorry, not sorry. That's not how it works anymore, my dear. So, thank you, Marianne, for the contribution. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with either the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. Also, be sure to subscribe to both my channels on Rumble. Follow me on Twitter and Telegram as well. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.